Hello everybody, Zach Thompson here for the final speech of the semester here. For today, I decided to go ahead and speak to you about knives, some of the different styles, some of the different qualities, and some of the different uses for the different styles of knives. At the same time, we're going to cover some of the safest way to use them and some of the best ways to protect a knife to ensure that we get the best result out of our work here. So when we look at knives, we go ahead and we can identify the different styles, different qualities, and of course, hopefully some of us can identify the different usages of those knives so that we're not damaging a knife by using it for something other than what it's intended for. Now, by saying what it's intended for, we'll get into that in a little bit. I'll show you some examples here, and we'll show you the best ways I can recommend to protect yourself and the knife while we're using it. So now that we have an idea of what we're going to talk about, some of the different kinds of knives that are out there, and we know and acknowledge that there's different uses for them, let's go ahead and we'll look a little deeper into our dilemma of knife usage here. Different types of knives. As far as different types of knives go, the most common ones we're going to see are the small folding knives that most of us commonly carry in our pocket, our boot, on our belt, anything of that sort. So I'll show you a couple of examples of mine. I have a standard. It's a Gerber. Not the highest quality knife. This one's a little bit bigger than most of us like to use, and I don't personally carry this on my body, except for when I'm in a field training environment or even deployed. You can see it's a pretty thick knife. It's got a nice good handle on it. It's got a nice thin blade on it. Now, the problem with this blade is, I don't know if you can see it, right there, you can actually see some of the rust spots on the blade itself. Now, I keep my knives very clean and I keep them oiled well. However, this one has actually sat, and I don't use it as commonly, like I said, because I like to keep it a little bit nicer. But it's actually sat in a nice dry location, and it's been oiled and cleaned regularly and sharpened when it needs to be, and it still manages to rust, and that's just due to the quality of steel that we're going to use here. So that's one style of knife that I have. Another style is a Benchmade manual opener, just like the Gerber that I have. Now, my Benchmades are some of my favorite knives. They're high quality, they're relatively inexpensive, and they're going to last you a very, very long time, and they're very user-friendly as well. They all have a locking mechanism on them so that when we open them, they don't close on our knuckles as we use them, which is always important. And it's just a good quality knife with a good balance to it, good quality steel, and it holds an edge very, very well. My personal favorite is also a Benchmade. This is actually an auto opening method, simple, push button open design. Now, with the push button open design, it enables you to hold on to something in one hand and open your knife by itself in the other hand quickly, and it also automatically locks when we go ahead and try to use it. So that's one way to protect ourselves, as well as some of the different variations. Now, we'll move on to our fixed blade knives. Fixed blade knives are actually commonly used. I actually carry them with me in combat, and I have a couple of different ones that I carry. The one that I have is one of my most veteran knives, is actually my Benchmade. Once again, it's my Benchmade fixed blade. The advantages to this knife, you can see it's a little bit more large in size. You can see right down the middle is the tongue of the blade that runs all throughout the handle. And the handle is actually good quality, thick, and it's carbon fiber. Now, the advantage to this one is there's no opening necessary. There's no closing necessary, so it can't close on your knuckles. Therefore, as long as you're careful with the blade, you're not going to hurt yourself while you use it. So, that's one variant of a fixed blade. Another variant here is my everyday use for my job. I know it seems kind of scary when I pull them out, and I don't mean to do that, but I'm trying to be very safe while I do it. This is called the EOD M11 knife. This one's commonly used in my trade as an explosive ordnance disposal tech. Now, this one has very, very good features. Nice big thick knife. You can see how thick the blade is on the back here. Now, that enables us to do prying and a lot of digging with it, which is what our primary focus for this knife is. It's strange to have a knife that's built for digging, but as you can see, I can actually run my fingers right along the blade, and it's not sharp at all. The reason for that is because we end up digging so frequently that it just dulls when we go into the rock. So I don't keep it personally very sharp because I carry a sharp backup on me. You can see the handle, very, very good sized handle, and you can see the different features here. This hole right here is actually so it can hook onto my sheath, and I can use it as a chain cutter. You got wire cutters along the top here, which are actually going to make it very easy to kind of cut through any small gauge wire without having to really try too hard. So that's one more fixed blade. Some of the next ones we're going to use are culinary knives. Most of us use these on a daily basis. I don't have my full set here with me, so you'll have to bear with me on that one. But I do have a couple of knives that are just different sizes for different uses. This is a small Chicago cutlery knife. You can see the little grooves on the side here. what those are designed for are actually to help food release from the blade after you've sliced through it. So when you're slicing carrots and zucchini and things like that, it actually helps it release from the blade instead of sticking to it, which we've all experienced, I'm sure. Culinary knives typically have a nice lightweight design to them. They're relatively well balanced right in the center, depending on the knife, and you can actually get to the point where you choose where the balance is, the more money you want to spend. These ones have a reasonably high quality steel, so it doesn't rust very easily, as long as you keep it clean and you take care of it. So, now that we've covered some of the different kinds of knives we have and the different uses we have, let's talk briefly about some of our control techniques for the knives. On our daily used knives, commonly called as a utility knife, you can see we have a nice long handle here, right along the base, and you can see the four-finger grip, and then your other four fingers fit right along, or excuse me, your three fingers fit right along the bottom here, with a nice good thumb bite right on top. So if you're really trying to put some pressure behind it, your fingers are out of the way, and you can use your thumb to support the rest of the knife and cut through anything you need to. You'll see that I have the straight edge combined with, there it is, combined with some of our serrated edge, and I find the serrated edge is great for cutting through just about anything, and the straight edge is good for slicing, and that's actually exactly what it's designed for. You see that we have our lock mechanism on the back here. We push that up just like so. We can't push the button to close it anymore. As soon as I slide that down, all I have to do is push this shiny button right here, and it enables me to close the knife. So this one you do have to be careful with because it is the auto opener, and lock it once it's closed. That way, when you push the button inadvertently, you can't actually open it. So that's some of the best ways for our utility knives. Our standard fixed blade, same idea, just a little bit bigger, and you don't have to open it, so it makes it a little bit less hassle. Nice good handle size on it, nice good thumb grip on it, nice thick strong blade, same idea on the blade here. You got the slicing side here with our serrated edge right along the side here. Serrateds manage to stay sharp, and they're very, very useful for cutting through things. Advantage to a bigger knife, you can cut through bigger things, and you can put more pressure behind whatever you're trying to cut. Lastly, our culinary knives. Culinary knives, what we want to do is, see how my fingers are kind of curled right up there? That's how you want to cut with a culinary knife. What it is, that gives you the advantage of, with your fingertips, you can hold on to anything you're cutting, and then you can just slice quickly and efficiently through whatever you're cutting with it, keeping your fingers out of the way. So, and that also aids into the benefit of keeping the knife balanced and not hurting yourself. So, some quick ways to protect the knife. Protect the knife, it's easy. Keep it sharp and keep it cleaned and lubricated as necessary. Look into your manufacturer's recommendations in order to do so. And as long as you keep a sharp knife, you're going to keep a safe knife generally. A dull knife is actually going to be more dangerous than anything else out there. So now that we've looked at some of the different kinds of knives we got out there, looked at some of their uses, quickly covered some of the safe control techniques and ways to protect your knife. That's all I've got for you today. Next time you go out to use a knife, make sure you make the best selection for your purpose that you're trying to achieve, and good luck.